So, since this'll probably take a while, who wants to talk the Bane comic where he thinks he's Batman's brother? Because that is a fun topic. Unfortunately, the comic itself, or at least the storyline itself, did kind of disappoint me. Because it's got this weird rape subplot, which not exactly sure why that was in there. It's also, like, it makes you think that Batman, like, stopping a woman from killing somebody because all these people raped her should probably have a better argument than it's just wrong. Because that's what his argument boils down to. And you'd think Bane would be somebody who could, like, relate to her and, like, even defend her point of view. Because the guy has, you know, dealt with the cruelty of the world just like Batman and this woman have. And, well, that's awkward. But yeah, it's a fun enough comic. It's not super smart. And the rape subplot isn't, like, handled super great. It's just kind of fine. Like, it's not the most offensive thing in the world. They don't, like, blame her for being raped or anything. They're just like, you shouldn't kill people because you were raped. That doesn't really justify you killing them. And, I mean, I guess you could argue that. But again, Bane is a killer. Bane... And I think if the Huntress is a killer in most universes, like, I'm sure Huntress could, like, defend her too, but Huntress isn't there enough to defend her. So it'd be Bane who would. But these guys can, like, argue against Batman on that pretty well, I think, and, like, defend her point of view. And I'm like, why is this in a comic where the drawing point is Bane and Batman are brothers, and, or at least Bane thinks they're brothers, and Batman, like, it's this plot that's just really convoluted. There's too much, like, in this one plot, so it just kind of gets messy. Because while they're trying to balance all that out, you've also got the Bat family just, like, questioning Batman's willingness to forgive him, and, like, Barbara being the only one who, like, defends his choice. I think Alfred's probably the most neutral in the situation. But yeah, it's just this really weird dichotomy where I don't think they write it well enough to really justify having that really weird subplot, which should probably be its own plot. Also, the artist, she kills people by using tattoos, which is a cool fucking concept. Part of me wishes that it wasn't nanotech, but because it's Batman, of course they're gonna want to justify it that way, even if magic and all that stuff does. Like, they've even got Ra's al Ghul in the fucking, or at least Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus pits are tied into it because Bane is trying to make him regret not choosing him. Okay.
You won't find Mr. J. He's in the secret lab in the gardens and... oh, crap!
Yep, I know.
Well, he'll get me out. You'll see.
I like that she's a smart character, but she has her moments where she just, like, slips up. Like, that's always a good characterization for her. Oh, okay. But, yeah, so I kind of wish those tattoos were more mystical, or, like, what's another way they could be explained? I just wish they weren't nanotech. Like, I get it, it's Batman, so nanotech's a good thing of a way of explaining things. But also, you don't need to explain things completely scientifically, because again, the fucking Lazarus pits exist, so why would you need to do that? But, other than that, the story also just doesn't give you enough time with the whole Batman-Bane dynamic, which could be so much more fun if, like, fleshed out. And, I think, for the most part, it's a decent comic with some minor slip-ups. There's some good character development for Bane. I mean, he's stayed a villain this entire time, so they never really followed through on it. But it could have been a good, like, fresh start for Bane. And, I know I need to read the comics that follow this up where he finds his father, but, yeah, little bit disappointing. Did not need that really awkward subplot that does, like, nothing for it. But yeah, other than that, read them if you can. They're still pretty fun. Alright, but what I was gonna say... Sorry, keep getting interrupted. What I was gonna say, it's a pretty decent story. It's not amazing. The subplot really probably shouldn't have been there, to be completely honest. But other than that, yeah, read it if you can. Just know that there's a weird little subplot there that probably should have been its own story that didn't interconnect with the Bane Batman stuff. And most of the Bat Children are kind of insufferable in it. So, yeah.